Right on.
All right. So first of all, congratulations on a huge win. You've coming off 2 straight knockout wins over 2 former UFC champions. How do they stack up against each other?
I think this one, just with the experience of just being here in Hamburg and just, you know, being a main event, obviously is a huge accomplishment for me personally. You know, they just get greater. I think that every fight that you have is the most important fight of your life, and at this point in my career, I think that they're all super important. But this is a big one for me for sure.
You, as you said before the fight, you call out Gustafsson, were willing to step in. I'm not sure if you heard, but reports coming out just now that Gustafsson is injured and out of UFC 227.
Oh, well, that's ironic, isn't it? It's kind of weird how that works out. He needed an opponent yesterday. What happened between now and, you know, then and now?
You think, you know, people are obviously commenting. You think it has something to do with your call out?
You know, I don't want to. I don't know. I really don't know. But that's mighty ironic. And I think that I'm a hard guy to train for. I really do. Honestly, I mean, I told you guys, I show up with a different product every time I fight. You know, with the Rashad fight, I was a little bit rushed and forcing stuff, and this time I was a lot more patient and kind of let things develop.
So what does this mean for you, then? What's the next step? Because you were very willing and eager to fight Gustafsson, top-ranked opponent. Who's next for you in this case? You were asked about Jimmy Manuwa, for example.
Yeah, I seen Jimmy Manuwa out there. You know that. You know, I'm. You know, Jimmy's a great fighter. He's a hell of a striker. He's powerful. You know, and he's ranked. You know, he's ranked pretty high in the division. You know, I'm not 100% sure. You know, I'll let the UFC and my management figure that out. You know, if it's not Gustafsson, then, you know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of called my shot after the Rashad fight that I wanted to fight in Lincoln, and, you know, that didn't necessarily work out. So I don't want to put my name on anything yet, but, you know, I think there's that Denver card that would be pretty cool. I train in Denver. That's, you know, where my team is. That's, you know, I spend a lot of time there. So I think Denver would be cool, but, you know, me and Jim do a pretty good job of figuring stuff out. So, you know, we're just going to enjoy this one for now, and you know, sounds like the Gus thing's off the table, so we'll just go from there.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, Anthony. Hello, congrats on our big win tonight. What was the reason of you showing up as the last of one during the early weigh-ins? Because the day before, on the media day, you mentioned that you got only 5 pounds to cut, so it shouldn't be a problem.
I wish I had a really good answer for that, but to be honest with you, I was really tired and I just slept in. So I went and I woke up and I went and checked my weight. I'm still on U.S. time, so I'm like up really late at night. So I think this morning, I don't think I went to sleep until like 6 o'clock this morning, and I slept till 3. So I just slept in and I went and checked my weight, and I was like a half pound over. So I sat in the steam room for like 6 minutes and I was on weight. But I know a lot of people thought that I was struggling to make the weight. Honestly, I just slept in.
Okay, after the fight, when the fight was off with Shogun, you came to him and you shared some words with him. Can you tell us what you have told him?
Yeah, I thanked him. You know, I said it all week that I've looked up to Shogun my entire career, and that I want to accomplish the things that he was able to accomplish. And honestly, Shogun didn't have to fight me. He could have used his position in the sport and his ranking to, you know, not fight and protect his ranking and protect himself. And he didn't do that because he's a warrior and he's, you know, I think I'm the last of that generation of guys that just fight whoever and they do whatever and they fight whoever they want. And Shogun's one of those guys, and I've modeled my mentality from the beginning after guys like that. So, you know, I just thanked him for the opportunity and for the things that he's done in the sport. I mean, that guy's a trailblazer.
Okay, hey, what do you think about this whole Cormier situation? I mean, he said he would fight Shogun next, but I guess you just ruined his plans.
I did.
Yeah, so what do you think? Who should he fight next? Who's next on the line?
For DC?
For DC, yes, in that heavyweight.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that DC, you know, wanted to fight Shogun for whatever reason and completely looked past me. And, you know, I think I said this last week, you know, I let them keep talking about each other, but, you know, the whole topic of the conversation is going to change after this fight, and I think that that's where we're at right now. So I don't know. I don't know what DC's got planned. You know, we'll see what other trick he pulls out of his sleeve.
Right.
Obviously, you've had 2 massive wins now since moving to 205. Can you just kind of talk about your move to this division and how that's affected your performances and how you feel at this weight class?
Just not cutting that extra 20 pounds or whatever it is huge. You know, I'm already a pretty tall and lean guy, so getting to 185 pounds is not only awful for me, it's awful for everybody around me. Everybody suffers when I'm making 185. It's my family, you know, has to deal with me being crabby and grumpy and not real involved all the time when I start getting close. And my poor coaches and manager have to sit in the sauna with me the entire time because I wouldn't be able to do it if they weren't in there with me. So everybody suffers, you know, and my training suffers. I'm not nearly as focused in the gym. I'm just trying to get through the shit, you know, and just going through the motions. And at 205, I'm happy. I'm focused. You know, I can really focus with my jiu-jitsu coach Scott and my head coach Mark about the little details in this sport, which you don't have time to focus on if you're cutting 35 pounds, you know. So I just wish I would have done it earlier, but it's going great so far.
And how far away do you think you are from getting that title shot?
You know, I don't know. You know, the top of the division is a disaster right now, you know. So, you know, Shogun was supposed to be next, and now he's not. And no one knows what's going on with Cormier. Whether I think that's the first step is we need to figure out if Cormier's staying or going. And I've said this before. I think that Daniel I think he's an honorable man. So it wouldn't be a very honorable thing to do for him to hold up the division, knowing because he knows right now. Like, you guys can ask him 100 times and he won't tell you, but he knows if he's coming back down or not. And I think that he needs to make that public so we can figure out what we're all doing. You know, I don't know how injured Gus is right now or what's going on there, but you know, I don't know. It's just kind of let it shake out in the next week or so, I'd imagine.
Have you been surprised with the fans' reaction after your win, after a knockout? Because they were cheering for you so much, and you know Shogun is a big star in Europe. He got fans here since Pride days. What do you thought about that?
I'm a big believer in MMA fans are some of the best fans in the world. They're pretty loyal, but they also really appreciate good performances and guys that lay it all on the line. And I think that I'm an easy fighter to root for, because there's no bullshit with me. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do, and I always stick to what I say. So, and I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve in the octagon. I go out there and I literally feel like every time I lay my life on the line, and I'll do whatever I got to do to get the win. And I think the fans can appreciate that. It did help a lot that I was able to fight Shogun on neutral territory. You know, I don't know how many times he's fought out of the U.S. in the last 5 years, but I can't imagine it's too many, if at all. So it was that changes the game a lot, though. Fighting legends like him in their home countries is really, really tough. So you know, I'm really happy that the fans in Hamburg tuned in. You know, with all the shakeups of the card and you know, not being Ozdemir, and then it wasn't Latifi, and then, you know, all those guys fell off. You know, I promised, you know, all week that if you just tuned in for that small amount of time, that I would make it worth it, and I think that they appreciated that.
You did what you have predicted. Yep. You finished him off in the first round, and when he came out, you know, Shogun, when he walked out, I got goosebumps. And yeah, so
it's crazy, right? I did too in there.
You broke my heart.
It's crazy.
You broke my heart. You know, I'm a big fan of Shogun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you were amazing. And so now you're gonna take some days off, or when is Denver? I don't know.
I think the Denver card's in November, I believe. I think it's in November. Yeah, if the Gustafsson, I don't want you guys to stick me to this, but if the Gustafsson fight is off, if that's absolutely not an option, I turn 30 next week. So I have a big birthday trip planned that I will absolutely cancel if Gustafsson wants to fight, just so everyone knows that. You know, I'm gonna go enjoy that. I'm gonna get home to my 3 young daughters. You know, I had the entire camp for Rashad, the fight, and then I was home for a little while, and then this popped up, you know. So right when I started to get back in the groove of things and enjoying the summer with my kids and my fiance, you know, this popped up. So I had to jet back out to Denver and finish the time there and then come here for a week. So I just really miss my kids. You know, I miss my kids. I miss my family. I mean, that's number one, is just get back to the States as fast as I can and spend time with them. And you know, me and Jim in the UFC will sit down and we'll navigate this whole mess at 205 and see where we look or see what it looks like and go from there. But that's my plans right now if the Gustafsson fight is not available.
Anthony, Germany and USA are in different time zones. You told about your daughters and your family. Did they saw your fight with Shogun?
Yeah. Right now it's like afternoon time in Nebraska. So they seen the fight. I was able to talk to my fiance when I was in the locker room before I came out here, and you know, I'm looking forward to getting on the phone and FaceTiming with them and my kids. All good? Cool. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.